Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Punaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvina Vadidamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. There are seasons on the spiritual path that feel like abandonment. It's as if you've done your practice, you've prayed, chanted, meditated, and still nothing seems to be moving along with your life. And you feel like the universe has forgotten you. Today we're going to talk about what is actually happening in these times and why the silence is not abandonment. Namaste and welcome to the Spiritual Wealth Podcast. I'm your host, Alexandra Savitri Amba, Director of the American Reiki Academy and the Vedic Healing Center. I'm a Reiki Master, Vedic Healing Master and Priestess, and spiritual guide who has practiced and taught spiritual self-development and healing for more than 35 years, led pilgrimages to India, and studied with blessed Indian gurus. In this show, we cover topics related to metaphysics, Reiki, Vedic healing, yoga, manifestation, spiritual growth, and feng shui, based upon my studies and work in these disciplines. The aim of this show is to help you awaken, develop, and tap into your spiritual power in order that you may live well, manifest your dreams, and ultimately fulfill your unique divine destiny. So today I want to talk about something I think that every spiritual seeker experiences sooner or later, and that is the periods where they feel abandoned, or they feel as if nothing is happening. So it's as if you've been doing all this work on yourself and you've been doing your dedicated spiritual practice and you've been growing and expanding. And yet from the outside, it seems as though life has not kind of mirrored back to you the amount of work you have put in. And I think at these times we start to feel as if we've been abandoned. So the title of this is that the universe has not forgotten you. But we start to sometimes collapse into victimhood and feeling as if no one is listening. I remember that being with Sai Baba in India, and he would say in his teachings, because many times when you work with a guru, you receive very, very clear and powerful guidance. This can be in a series of dreams, in very amazing coincidences in your life that are really not coincidences, and you know there is direct response to your prayers, and you feel like all of a sudden you've tapped into this magical lifeline, and you just feel like you have this extraordinary help. And then at some point that help starts to disappear, or so you think. And I remember Sai Baba saying that there is a time in the aspirant's life in which the guru seems to leave. And I say seems to, because really what's happening is the guru has kind of retreated a bit so that the seeker can now internalize the teachings and run with them. It's just like when you have a child, at some point you can withdraw some of the very strong support that you have given that child. And this is actually not abandonment, although sometimes the spiritual seeker feels abandoned. They feel like, oh, what happened? Where is that connection? So even if you haven't ever worked with a guru, just think about the times in your life where you feel like everything is flowing so well, and you put out your requests to the universe, and the universe responds. And then all of a sudden you go through periods where you feel like nothing is happening. You're expecting some opportunity or some answer to your prayers, or your vision board, or whatever you're using as a tool, and you feel like your work was in vain. And that's when we begin creating stories, and we start to say, oh, I think I'm doing this all wrong, or I've missed my chance, or everyone else is moving forward except for me, or the universe has forgotten me. And so after more than 35 years on this spiritual path, I can say I don't believe that's what's happening at all. In fact, I think some of the most important periods of growth are the ones that look the most quiet from the outside. So I've spoken about this in other episodes, that our lives are not moving in a straight line. We think we're moving from point A to point B, but think about how there's a lot of meandering. So if you want to get from Los Angeles to San Francisco, there's one route that looks very direct, but you may take another route where you stop along the way. And that's more what's happening in life. We don't usually take one straight route and the freeway is clear, there's nothing ahead of us, and we just arrive, without any obstacles, without any detours. It's very rare that happens. It's even more rare if you live in Los Angeles, and you can relate to this, because often you have a plan that you're going to go somewhere, and you check your maps, and it says, whatever app you're using, and it says 30 minutes, and it looks clear, and you're happy. And then you get on the freeway, and there are all these little unexpected things, so you may have to jump off one exit and take a little detour and take a side street, take surface streets, and so forth. So that's what's happening with our life all the time. Therefore, all the work that you're doing, it's really what's happening is energy is gathering, and everything is preparing you for your expression. And your expression is going to happen in so many different ways during the course of your life, and each one is going to be a really magical unfolding. So there are times in the spiritual seeker's life, because the spiritual seeker is spending, I'm going to just detour here, the spiritual seeker is spending a lot of time with self-growth work, and that means a lot of internal time. And although this feels really blissful and peaceful, it can sometimes be lonely as well. And when it gets even more quiet, where we feel like, sometimes we feel, oh, this inner work is so blissful and wonderful. And then sometimes it gets really quiet and really full of mystery. And so we start wondering, is this really helping me. And what happened to all that support I felt like I had? Now, one of the reasons, okay, I mentioned the support goes away because the teacher, the guru, the energy you're working with, the saint, the deity, whomever it is you're working with, could be just your higher self, starts to say, you already have this figured out. So let's see what you do with the knowledge that you have derived up until this point. It's time for you to take it and run with it. So that's one reason. Another reason is you lose faith. And so you actually stop reaching out. But the thing is, as you keep reaching out, that support is always there. It may be there on other levels. Like specifically, I'm thinking when people have these intense interactions with gurus. For instance, in my path, I've had many beautiful interactions and very specific types of communication from the guru. Maybe it was very clear dreams that didn't feel like dreams. They were actually, I would say, they're visitations, and they were so crystal clear. And I've had intense periods where those dreams were very common and very consistent. And then you go for a long time and there's nothing. It seems. It's always an illusion, really, that there's nothing, or that the void is empty. The void is never really empty. It's a space full of energy and possibility. And the deeper we go, the more we're able to connect. So sometimes when the guru or the teacher or the answers withdraw or seemingly withdraw from your space, it's just an indication, a message to go deeper. Okay, you've come this far. Now take it a little farther. Where are you being challenged? So where are you being challenged to trust and to expand and to move into your practice more, even when the results seem to be invisible? So my urging to you today is to, of course, never give up your spiritual practice. And even if all you can manage some days is a shorter practice, that consistency is so much more important than the quantity of the time. So sometimes people will ask, they ask me all the time in class, how long do you meditate? And the real answer is that it's not the quantity of time, it's the quality of the practice. So it's the depth that you reach. And the interesting thing is that as you keep doing these practices, you can access the depth more quickly. So whereas it used to take you 30 minutes to get to a deep space in meditation, you can now close your eyes and get there quickly. The mind settles down because you've trained your being, you've trained your mind. So your practice is, sometimes it feels like it's not producing immediate results, but it is always producing results. It is always preparing you for what comes next in your life. And that preparation, when you are seemingly in the void and it's seemingly empty, and you're starting to think, the universe has abandoned me, these practices don't work, nothing's showing up in my life the way I want it to, that time is very sacred too. It's very sacred. It's very special. It's where we stretch ourselves and where we learn. We learn. So if you are feeling like today, if you're feeling the universe has forgotten you, I want to tell you it doesn't work that way. The universe has not forgotten you. Life has not forgotten you. Your spirit guides, if you believe in them, have not forgotten you. I always tell people you have a spiritual support team that is sometimes very loud, and then sometimes they go quiet. That's what I'm kind of alluding to in this episode. But also, whether you know about them or not, they are there. And the times in which you feel like there's no one helping me is simply a test, and it's also an opportunity, let's say, to go deeper into the practice. And the last thing I want to say is your soul has certainly not forgotten why it came here. So it came here to expand and to touch the depths of what you can experience, what you can create, what you can express. And all of these beautiful practices that we do involve a process, they involve timing, and they involve great, great trust. So the challenge becomes not to collapse into the void and go down the rabbit hole of moving into victimhood. And I'm all alone, and nobody is listening, and I have no support. So recognize if you're moving in that direction, and allow yourself maybe a course correction, but definitely allow yourself more connection with your practice. And in that connection, all of the answers will come. All of the motivation will come. And life will start to unfold beautifully again. You'll get the visible results. I hate to use the word results, but you'll get the visible answers, or the visible, it's a back and forth, just like the altar. I always talk about interacting with your altar as a back and forth. So you will receive the energy back. You will receive validation. Let's say validation. You will start to receive again. Oh, okay, something's happening. I just kind of lost it for a little time. I lost it in that I went down the rabbit hole of extreme sadness and depression and victimhood for no particular reason other than I had lost connection with source energy. So all of the components of the practice enable you to connect with source energy. And that connection is just going to get more and more beautiful and more sure in your system. So these times of feeling as if the universe has forgotten you and there's nothing left for you to create, or there's nothing showing up in your life, those become fanciful ramblings of the mind, and you know not to really believe them. If this episode has resonated with you, feel free to reach out via the show notes and leave a comment, or feel free to join the email community. I'd love to hear from you. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om. Om Sai Ram, Jai Guruji, Om Amriteshwariye Namaha, Hare Krishna, Om Namah Shivaya.